The number one framework that any drummer can use for solos is called the best method for a reason, because it'll allow you to get reactions like this. Now, I've talked about this exact method before, but a lot of you wanted me to do an example of this method in action. So in this video, not only am I going to break down the exact 4-step method that I use in order to crush every solo that I take, but I'm also going to set an example for you so you can learn and see exactly how I pull the audience in, captivate them with the drum solo, and tell them a story as I go along. Now, as a quick refresher, what are the 4 steps? The B stands for breathe. The E stands for establish an idea. The S stands for shape the idea that you just established, and the T stands for takeoff. This is the exact 4-step method that I use to smash every single solo I take with little to no mistakes at all, and to most importantly, impress the crowd when I solo. So let's run over to the drums so I can break it down for you. All right, y'all, so before we get started, there's just one thing I want to let y'all know. Everything that I'm getting ready to show you is going to be surface level right now. So if you want to absolutely master the best method and get deeper and deeper into the concepts of developing your creativity and developing your flow, then hit the link in the description to gain access to my full chops program. It's going to help you with your creativity, your flow, your vocabulary, your speed, and your chops. And it is definitely going to transform your plan. So hit the link below in the description if you're interested in getting access to that. Now, let's jump straight in and get to the best method. All right, so the B in best method is going to be the most simple and easiest part, but it's the part that everybody forgets. And I know it sounds crazy, but people be forgetting it. And it is B, breathe, okay? And the breathing is going to be connected to your technique. One thing you have to understand when it comes time for you to solo is you do not need to be squeezing the sticks, okay? You want to be completely relaxed. You want to have your shoulders down. A lot of y'all be like this, just real tense. And oh my God, I'm about to play solo. Oh my God, so worried. Relax, calm yourself. Tension is your number one enemy as a drummer. You do not want to be tense, and you do not want to be holding your breath trying to move around the drums, okay? The drums is one of the very few instruments where you're moving all of your limbs at the same time, which means you're going to get tired faster. So you need to be breathing. And I know some of y'all are like, well, Zyck, duh, I'll be breathing when I play. Next time you play a drum solo, either look at the video you took or just think about what you're doing. You're going to be like, dang, I'm holding my breath. So make sure you're absolutely breathing. And the reason why you're breathing is so you can release that tension, so you can feel calm, and so you can be ready to play the drums. If you do not get the B down, the first step, that's the most important. Because if you're not loose, if you're not free, if you're not breathing, then how are you going to execute an awesome solo? How are you going to take the audience through this storytelling method that you're trying to do? There's no way you'll be able to do that. So you need to breathe, you need to calm yourself. No squeezing the stick, and just be relaxed. I know it's a lot of pressure. I know it's nerve-wracking. I know everybody's looking at you. I know people are taking videos. I know your mama's in the corner embarrassing you with the flash on. Oh, my baby about to solo. All of those things are happening at one time, and it's driving you crazy, and it makes you tense, and it makes you anxious, it makes you nervous. But if you breathe, take a couple deep breaths, calm down, and take care of business. All right, this is the part that people be like, man, you know, we're not talking about playing. What are we talking about? It's the most important part. It's the parts where we don't talk about playing that are actually the most important. Those are the parts you should listen to the most. So the B stands for breathe and calm yourself, okay? Now let's move on to the E. All right, so the E is going to stand for establish an idea. Establish an idea. So what does that mean? That means we're not going to start grandiose, and we're not going to come out the gate just going as hard as we can. Now, as you develop and you get better at soloing, yes, you can do that. Sometimes I like to do it. But when we talk about the best method and we're trying to figure out how to tell our story and we're trying to figure out how to build a solo, you need to establish a small idea. That can be something as simple as paradiddles. That can be something as simple as single strokes on the floor time. It needs to be simple, and it needs to be small, right? So you just breathe, you just calm yourself. Now it's time to establish an idea. So I'm just going to kind of noodle around and kind of just give y'all an idea of how to establish an idea. And when I say establish, my expectation is for you to repeat that idea a numerous amount of times, okay? So that can be something as very simple as, I don't know, like I said, a paradiddle. But I'm going to demonstrate right quick what it means to establish an idea and how that goes. Check this out.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Now, you're probably sitting there thinking, well, Zyck, I can do that. Exactly. You can do it, which means if you can do that, which I know you can, then you can take an amazing solo. I don't know if y'all expected me to do something crazy, extravagant, crazy chop, but no, when we establish an idea, it needs to be simple. So I just sat on a right? Just establish that idea. Now, in solo context, we may not necessarily come out the gate with the solo like that, but I'm breaking the best method up into pieces to explain it to you. So the that's just an idea. Of course, you wouldn't just do that and leave that space open. Or you could. I don't know what type of avenue you want to go, but I would do something like that and it'll be dope. You know, get the people going. But that's how you establish an idea. Now, the next part, which is shape the idea, is going to be very, 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 very important. When we talk about shaping the idea, we're talking about taking it from here to here and expanding it in some sort of way. So when we were just going, that can be a little bit stale after a while if you just keep doing that for the whole entire solo. So what do we need to do? After we establish that idea, after the audience can understand what's going on when we're playing, now we need to shape the idea to take it from here to here, right? And this is where we truly begin to tap in to what we call a storytelling method. We're telling a story on the drums. Side note, anybody can play fast and loud. We've proven that. We've seen that. Okay? Anybody can do it. Just because you can play fast and loud does not mean that you are a high-level great drummer. Anybody can do that. The high-level drummers and the drummers with great musicianship are the ones that can actually tell a story and that can actually captivate the audience. And I'm telling you, when you can establish an idea like this, that is what's going to help you captivate the audience. And then when you can shape that idea that you just established, which is the S in the best method, now we talking about actually grabbing the audience and saying, follow along with me. If you just blaze in the chops, then they're kind of lost. The people are like just kind of lost. They don't know what's going on. There is a time to blaze the chops, and we're going to get to that. But right now, we in the shaping. We're going to start talking about shaping, and I'm going to demonstrate how to shape. But I just want to let y'all know, if you don't establish right, then the shaping is not happening. So notice how this method is stacking on each other. If you're not breathing and you have a bunch of tension, then you're not going to be able to establish well. If you're not able to establish well, then you're not going to have anything good to shape, and then everything's going to fall apart. So let's dig into what shaping really is and how to go about shaping and how to approach it. So I'm going to show y'all how to shape. I'm going to shape the idea and show y'all how you can kind of expand on that to take you, my audience, right, through a story and how I can do that. So I'm going to try to do it to the best of my ability. Check this out.
1, 2, ready, and...
All right, notice how I just established the idea. That idea was reoccurring, which meant it kept happening, okay? So if I was playing a gig and the audience was watching me, I don't care if you've been playing drums for 40 years or you've never played drums in your life. Eventually, you're going to understand that rhythm keeps coming back. Right? And you're going to be like, oh my goodness, like eventually you're going to be able to catch on no matter your skill level because it's me expressing some sort of story to you and kind of opening it up. Now, the way I'm demonstrating it is for teaching purposes. Okay, of course, I probably wouldn't repeat. I mean, I could. If I was playing a solo, I could repeat that idea. The entire solo, I could do that. But the idea of establishing and shaping in the best method is that you do it for a little bit and then you move on to another idea. Right? So when you catch yourself soloing, like you're going to put yourself in a position to be able to establish an idea, shape that one a little bit, establish a little bit more, shape it a little bit, go on to another idea to establish. Okay, because you don't want it to get stale with your idea. So that's one thing that I want y'all to understand. When I'm demonstrating this, I want you to see that like the power of just establishing an idea and changing something very small and keeping that idea. When you can start to think in longer phrases and longer sentences as a drummer, you're going to start having less of a hard time having flow, less of a hard time creating creative ideas because your ideas are now centered around something. Okay, so keep that in mind because the last part is kind of like the climax of your story, right? The T stands for take off. So the takeoff is going to be, like I said, the climax of your story, the part where it's like, okay, you can maybe do something that audience may not understand, but they're going to be ready for something that they don't understand because you've been walking them through something that they do understand the entire solo, right? And sometimes before the solo even ends, I might do a takeoff spot. Like that spot that I did when I did like a little linear chop when I was kind of going into it, that's more of like a takeoff thing, but you can sneak it in there. It still works. You're taking them on a roller coaster ride of feelings and emotions of a drum solo, right? And taking them through it. So keep that in mind. We're talking about breathing. We already got that. Relax, breathe, don't squeeze the stick, relax and breathe. We established one idea. It was the we started to expand on that and shape that idea by adding different things and experimenting with different notes. Now we've come to the takeoff. That's the part where we're literally going to maybe play one of our favorite chops. Maybe the takeoff could be you just get a little bit louder than you were the whole time. If I'm playing in a smaller venue, I like to use the takeoff as a large moment where I'm like, get to play a little bit louder because that adds more energy. So the whole solo has been soft. And I might have been piano the whole time, but now I'm at like a mezzo forte, and the people are ready for it to get kind of loud because they're on the edge of their seat, right? So we've geared them up. We've established some ideas. We've shaped some ideas. We're good and calm. The people are ready for you to do something big. So this is whenever that one chop that you got in your bag that you like to use, this is the one you close it out with. Okay, it might be fast singles down the drums. It might be some paradiddles with the cymbals. I don't know what it is that you do, but you need to understand that this is the part where you're allowed to kind of blaze the chops and do something large. You know what I mean? Give them something to meet the climax and to, take off. All right, so now that we're going to put everything together and we're going to add the takeoff, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a track in the background. It's a good track and it's a little bit more like smooth and it's kind of like more of drone sounding and it's not a lot going on in the track, but I just want to have something to play along to so y'all can kind of follow along with me, okay? So as I play, I want you guys to listen for me establishing an idea, me now shaping that idea, and me taking off. Now, what you're going to notice is it's going to happen a lot faster than what I've been doing in the video, okay? But you got to be able to pick up on it, okay? It's going to happen a lot faster, and I'll do my best to, stretch it out and have fun with it. I haven't played this track in a while, but I'm just going to have some fun with it. I will try to stretch it out so you can kind of be understanding and make it a little bit obvious of what I'm doing and what section of the best method I'm in. But turn your ears on and really listen to what I'm doing. When you hear me repeating something a lot, okay, that's the idea he's establishing. Let me see how he's going to shape it. Okay, he's shaping it in this way. I like that. Okay, now that was kind of out of the box and crazy. That was the takeoff. And you will begin to see me going in a cycle, establishing, shaping, taking off, establishing, shaping, taking off, establishing, shaping, taking off. Okay, and that's the cycle that you're going to see. And I'm going to take y'all on the ride, man, a roller coaster ride. So I'm going to play this track and we're going to do the best method and I'm going to demonstrate it for you guys. Check this out. Okay, so clearly I need to practice that track again, but y'all get the idea, okay? At the end of the track, they got some extra hits that I completely forgot about. I haven't played that track in years, but I just wanted to throw it on just to give y'all an idea. Y'all heard me shaping the idea. Y'all heard me establishing, right? And then I kind of got away from the main idea to use the takeoff to set me up to get to another idea. So y'all get the gist of it. Y'all understand it. Like I said, I hate that I forgot those hits at the end because I would have actually incorporated them a little bit better, but that was just a teaching moment. It's not really about me being able to smash the track. It's about y'all understanding the importance of being able to apply a storytelling method to your playing, right? Because any audience can appreciate a musician, especially when they can understand what's going on, right? And a lot of time as drummers, we get so caught up in being able to play all the flashy and cool stuff to where we're leaving out our main audience. And the main audience is typically not somebody that understands all your chops. Now, does that mean you can never play all of the cool, difficult stuff to now, resonate with the people that do play music? No, that's what the takeoff moment is for. But you have to be able to dumb it down, and you have to be able to put it in a position to where anybody in the room can understand it and enjoy it. Because if you're only catering to one, then, you really need to be catering to who bought the tickets. And 9 times out of 10, whoever bought the tickets to come see you is not somebody that is, very, very deep into drum solos and playing crazy chops, unless it's a drum clinic of some sort. But we got to understand who we're playing for, and we got to cater towards certain people. So let's just do a quick overview before we end. The B stands for breathe, right? Calm yourself. Y'all cannot play these drum solos that way if you're just tense, okay? Because you're trying to do things on the fly. You're trying to play quickly. You're trying to get out ideas. How is the idea going to get out if you're just so tense, right? Your blood can't even flow if you're so tense. So relax. The E stands for establish an idea. Y'all heard me establishing an idea, right? You start hearing me repeat things in that, like, oh, okay, I can hear him establish an idea, right? Do the same thing. And guess what? The difficulty level doesn't have to be as high as mine, right? I've been doing this for a very long time, but pace yourself and don't be discouraged. If your established is just some paradiddles, rock out them paradiddles, man, and make it unique in your own way, right? Here, let's take it from here to here and expand. That's your expanding section, which is so important because that keeps us from being stale and boring, okay? And the T is the takeoff. That's where you could kind of, get off track a little bit and really, really, really step out and play something extra difficult and kind of really get into it, okay? Any mistakes? It's my method that helps me know how to think about a drum solo and how to deliver it, right? And this is good if your drum solo is timed. If you know you got a certain amount of time, you can allot what you're going to do with the best method. And it's still good if you don't have a drum solo that's timed. If it's just random and they're like, hey, go, and you want to go, it works, okay? It's a method that works, and it will not fail you. This is what I use, and this is what you should use as well. And if you would like to go deeper into these types of concepts of how to play the drums in this fashion and sharpen your creativity and sharpen your vocabulary, hit that link in the description because that is what's going to help take you to the next level. Let's get it. All right, y'all, that is going to mark the end of this video. I appreciate you guys watching. I appreciate y'all taking the time to learn from me. If you like what you learn in this, then you will be blown away by the things in my full School of Chops program. Hit the link below in the description if you're ready to sharpen your skills and play with confidence behind the drums. It will definitely take you to the next level with no doubt at all. With that being said, I love y'all and I will see y'all next time. God bless. Zyck out.